I still remember the day like it was yesterday. I called my 15-year-old niece to wish her a happy birthday. And she sounded sad. I said, "Honey, why do you sound so sad?" She said, "Aunt Kathy, I'm 6 weeks pregnant." I was stunned, speechless. A couple of days later, I received an email from her that read, "Aunt Kathy, I love it and I want to keep it." Elizabeth Hutchison reports that every year in the United States, 880,000 teens become pregnant, and of those pregnancies, 80% of those are unintended. Today, teenage pregnancy is on the rise again. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kathy Ward, and today I'm here to talk to you about teen pregnancy. Understanding why teenage pregnancy occurs, we have to take a closer look at what is happening developmentally with today's teens. Sexual experimentation during teenage years can result in unplanned pregnancies. In middle adolescence, teens use sexual activity to demonstrate independence, maintain status in their peer groups, or explore self-identity. In fact, it is an STD or an unplanned pregnancy that teenagers will actually the catalyst for seeking reproductive services. Having a baby during adolescence is a major turning point in a young person's life that is often not realized. It's a major life event that is not realized until later in life. A teenager is likely to drop out of school as a result of a teenage pregnancy. And Swanson and Sonny reported that 75% of these teen mothers will receive welfare. And it's challenging for teens to get welfare when they still fall under their parents' income and they're still living at home with their parents, as some of them will need that support. But what influence does society have on today's teens? Society's views of women effects can influence sexual behavior in young people. The New Generation, New Worldview concludes that yesterday's assumptions do not define today's teens. What does this mean? Does this mean that we are out of touch with today's youth? In a lot of ways, we are. I find we don't even have the same cultural language. If you sit quietly and listen to two teens talk today, you'll see that our generation, my generation, is so completely different from the way and the norms that I grew up with. What we have to do is find out what the teens today value. Adolescents are being sent mixed sexual messages by the media they watch. America's media sends the message to be sexy, to be sexual, and at the same time be virginal. It's a no-win situation. It can't happen. Today, it's the cultural norm. Sexual activity is the cultural norm. We have discussed adolescent development and society's role in influencing teens. Let's look at two solutions to the problem. The solution to teen pregnancy today is not an abstinence-only program, but an open-talk policy with today's youth. Bernie and Huberman report that only 10% in American homes, 10% of Americans discuss sexual activity with their children. Why is this? This intrigued me. I believe it is because there's a myth out there. The myth is that if you speak to your children about sexual activity, it will make them either want to become sexually active or make them more sexually active. That's exactly what that statement is. It is a myth. It's not true. Being open with your children is what Todd Medley, an educator on sexuality, explains, that good sex education provides complete information and education, which in turn responsibility for important life decisions. Yes, it allows them to make important life decisions, responsible decisions, and they can do this if they're informed about sexual activity. First, we discussed typical adolescent development. Second, we took a closer look at how society's role on adolescents and early sexual activity. Third, we explained the solution to decreasing teen pregnancy can begin at home with parents. As you can see, teen pregnancy affects all of us on some level. Early biological children and men live in a world where sexual activity is the norm. For these young women and their children, the life course will be economic economically and mentally challenging and will have an impact on all of us. I challenge all of you today to leave here, to open up the line of communication with your children, to be open. Open up the doors so that your children will be safe and want to come to you and discuss these very important issues. I thank all of you for being here today.